Hey folks, in this one, Mike Chin talks about the TBS Fusion launch. I actually have a little bit of a bone to pick with him about them taking the MQC Fusion name, but we'll just leave that for the interview. But Mike talks about the TBS Fusion launch, what it was like, why he thinks you should invest in this product. I think it's not a sales pitch, by the way. It's Mike showing his passion for the product that he supports, which is super important to the actual job that he does, which is supporting that product. If he wasn't passionate about the product, I think it would be a lot harder for him to support. But he believes, ladies and gentlemen, he believes. Anyways, I hope that you enjoy it, and I'll talk to you soon.
So, speaking of the Fusion, it just launched.
Yep. Yep.
Show me your Fusion.
All
All right, so
And even
yeah, go
this
ahead.
is a
Turn it on.
pre-production one though. I think the new one, the lights aren't as bright and stuff.
Okay. So I think the first thing that we need to get out of the way is why are y'all stepping all over MQC's frame name?
Dude, I don't know. That's what I fly. I fly a Fusion.
That's my
I've been-
favorite.
I've been thinking- what about this? This is a Fusion flight controller from Heli Nation.
Oh, true. I guess it
So,
is kind of a common name
So I'm gonna fusion my Fusion
with my Fusion.
with my Fusion. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
No,
awesome.
I use a Fusion split deck with a little different pod on it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just name
So
it.
have you guys gotten any pushback from the MQC guys at all about it?
Oh, they're
I
my
mean,
homies.
yeah.
I've known Nick forever. Like forever.
Nick's great.
Like Nick was helping support me fly before I ever even worked for Tiny Whoop or was ever sponsored for anything. He was always there to like help me out with stuff. Like MQC is probably hands down my favorite frame company, which is why I still have like a 3-year-old Fusion that I fly as my main quad.
Yep.
Like
Yeah, I won't reach for them, but I've got a stack of OG Fusion arms sitting on my desk in case I break them.
this is so old school Fusion. It doesn't even have the fourth standoff,
Dude, so I actually
and it has this gasket that he hates this gasket.
Dude, that thing
Like,
was such a I ended up with the drib nut holder, whatever it was called. I ended up
that's aptly named.
But I love the Fusion frame. But so let's talk about the TBS Fusion.
Yep.
So everybody's making a big deal about it, but why is it special?
All right, so that's hard for me to answer because I'm not the one who designs the stuff.
Okay.
As a consumer, okay, because a lot of people like to like say, oh, like they try to like associate me as TBS or something, but
Sure.
really I'm working remote in the United States,
Right.
almost as a contractor. Though I do work for them and they pay me, I'm still using this shit. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
for me, why I'm into it is because it works as good or better than a rapid fire. That's the first thing. I was rocking
Mhm.
around with the Clearview on my transmitter. So
Okay.
I think it works better from the tests that I've done. I've been back and forth with them both. We had one in Aaron's goggles, a rapid fire, and
Mhm.
we were doing side by side flying and like tell me when you have breakup and then comparing DVR.
Mhm.
I think it works better. It's not like substantially, but it's not like the new digital or something. You know what I mean? But at like where we were having cutouts and stuff, I was keeping my lock longer. So that's the 1st
Mhm.
thing. Is my Clearview is the same way. My Clearview ground station is amazing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But it gets a little bit much to like drag around. The other thing is it does have crossfire support. So what that means is, and it's not live right now. This is an update coming later this September,
Mhm.
maybe early October, but it should be out by end of September.
Sure.
Is you can do things like change your channel on your goggles, and if it's hooked up to smart audio on your drone, it'll change the channel on your drone. Things like that. There's
That's
also an
cool.
OSD that you can send in the inside. I know that there's updates coming for it to like show crossfire stats and things like that.
Mhm.
We say upcoming. That's like a big thing. People get, well, it's not out yet, whatever.
Mhm.
As an example, I'll use the Crossfire. The Crossfire, when it came out, could do S-Bus. I don't think it had the ultra fast latency of CRSF, but it's a hardware piece that is superior hardware that we continue to support over time and bring out new cool stuff for it all the time. The Crossfire, the very first Crossfire will still work with 3.0 and it'll do all the cool stuff that we're doing now, and it's not hardware limited, and it continues to grow as a project. And I say we, but Remo adds some really cool things to the whole system, and it's a full ecosystem of CRSF.
Mm-hmm.
This whole thing communicates together and tells each other what it's doing, and you can change it on the fly. This is using Wi-Fi when it does it. There's a Wi-Fi chip in every Crossfire that most people didn't even know was there. They didn't even notice unless they pulled the thing apart and started looking around.
Mm-hmm.
In the full size, it's in the JR bay, and it's been there
Mm-hmm.
forever. And in the micro, it's like right in the inside. So it's the ability. It's putting out really good hardware
Mm-hmm.
that gets new features and gets cool stuff all the time because we update our stuff, and we like Trappy's putting so much money into R&D just to bring out new cool stuff to like
Right.
make like, to be honest, like it's like smart audio. Like even the old Unifies have some form of smart audio on them, going back like a long time. It's just over time they unlock those features as they get them fully developed and when they're ready for the consumer market, like when they're ready for the market. They don't like to put stuff out too early when it's like buggy, but they like to put it out as soon as they get it ready. But they've planned for it. You know what I mean?
So there's still pieces of the Fusion that are going to be unlocked then.
Oh, a lot of stuff from what I've been told.
Okay.
And you have to remember, I'm the guy. I just fix the stuff. I don't develop the stuff. I don't make the stuff. I get
Right.
the end product. I give my opinion. Like I know, I gave the opinion that these lights were too bright, and they adjusted those. Like when we were doing testing. Apparently, mine now. Like so, the problem I was having with mine is whether I turn on the RX switch on or off, it wasn't turning off the module.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave that opinion. They beefed that up and changed something in there. So now when you turn this off, it turns off the module.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's nice to have someone who's listening to like the feedback that support is getting and fixes stuff over time.
Mm-hmm. And then the price is super competitive.
Yeah,
Right?
it's like 120 or something.
Is it that low?
Yeah, it's 120,
Yeah.
I believe. Let me pull it up on here.
I've got I'm still rocking an old Fusion or not Fusion but
LaForge.
LaForge. Yeah, I need to
That's what I was
upgrade.
rocking. I used that forever
Yeah.
because I love Bruce and I've always liked the LaForge. It's, I think
Speaking of good Facebook shows,
huh?
this is Bruce
Bruce?
in Bruce in
No,
his Facebook group.
I'm talking about Bruce Daly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's great, man. I used to love some of his responses in the Facebook group were just on point.
Yeah, he says things how they need to be said sometimes.
There is a healthy dose of reality in some of the
Yeah.
ways that he said things.
Yeah. And he would be the first to say this. I don't think customer support was his strong suit.
No, it was not,
Yeah.
but it was pretty funny. So you were part of the launch of the Fusion. You still are part of the launch of the Fusion.
Yeah, I mean, on the support side, and then I guess beta testing too.
Yeah.
Or alpha testing.
What was the run up to the launch like? I mean, it sounds like it was pretty intense.
I mean, not on my end.
Okay.
Like, I would be in Hong Kong because they're the ones who have to deal with all like the intensity of it. For me, it's just like, hey guys, getting a lot of tickets about this. What do I do? You know what I mean? But
Right.
hey man, these Telenation customers are wondering when that thing is coming out. So if you could tell me, it'd be awesome.
Yeah. But
Too much
now,
to think about everybody else asked,
but something had to be going on because we moved our interview. We were supposed to be 2 nights ago, and you were like, "Hey, dude, I'm tired," and I offered to reschedule.
A lot of that stuff was just a lot of like the volume of Facebook messages I get is insane sometimes, like utterly insane. And like I said, I've been on the other side of a support ticket, and I hate being on the other side and waiting for an answer, especially if they saw the first question. You know what I mean? If they click the thing and it's like has been read by, like So it's like,
Yeah.
especially when we're about to launch a product, I want to be there for the customers to answer like, what questions do you have? Is this thing, does it do this? Does it do that? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Do I need the power mod for it? Which
Hmm.
I'm gonna go on record. Trappy, it should be called the auxiliary power board, not the power mod. Because whenever you say power mod, people think of this stupid L10, L1 mod, and that's
Yep,
not
that's
what
what
it
I was
is.
just thinking.
You need the external or auxiliary power board installed, and that's
Hmm.
the power mod for the Fusion. So basically, what that's doing is sending battery power to the Fusion. You only need it if you're running the Crossfire Wi-Fi because that
Okay.
uses a bit of power, but it's only active really when you're using that Crossfire control.
Hmm.
It will run on like HDOs without it. I don't
Hmm.
know if I could probably test if it runs on my V3s without. I just use Dominator V3s,
Yeah, that's what I use.
but I mean, I could probably unplug it and check. It'd probably turn on and work as a module. But if you want that extra functionality, you need this board, regardless of whatever goggles you're on. If they have, all your mods done, it doesn't matter. You still need this board
Hmm.
for the Wi-Fi control until
So,
someone figures out a way to fix it. Well, not fix it, but bypass it, because this community is full of people who'll be like, "Well, if you do this to the goggle and jump this part, you know what I mean?" Like somebody will figure it out.
yeah. Actually touching back into the support thing for a second, are
Yep.
most of your tickets over Facebook?
No, I actually don't like that. Most
Okay.
of my tickets are through our support system. Uh, I will go to Facebook to like if someone's really confused and it seems like this ticket system is taking too long and they're not really understanding the question that I have,
Hmm.
or vice versa. You know what I mean? Like that's when I'll like, hey, dude, do you want to do a video call? Because we can just figure this out in like 10 minutes.
Right.
Which that usually, but like there's a lot of people who hit me up on Facebook and they want like an immediate answer on something crazy, and it's like, I'm sorry, but I need that like somewhere,
I
you
need a
know.
documented paper
Yeah,
trail.
yeah. Like so, like let's say you're like, hey, I don't know how to unlock Unify, and I see chins on. It's like, okay, I'll answer that question. If you're like, hey, dude, I crashed my drone and now my receiver's blinking because this, that, and the other thing, and I just had this component fall off. It's like that's a support ticket. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I need
Yeah.
something recorded of that. If it's like a settings issue, I'll help you out with that. Like if it's
Hmm.
something quick. But
Hmm.
like if as soon as something's broken, like I need something some like we need it on record because like if we have like an issue going on with, let's say a receiver and I'm like we need to be able to like let's say you
If
get
it's
a
a repeating
DOA.
issue.
Yeah. Well, there's that, but it's like let's say you actually did get something that was like dead on arrival, which is like
Hmm.
very honestly super the amount of times that happens a week is like once maybe
Hmm.
over like hundreds of tickets where
Right.
there's something that's actually DOA or like something's actually wrong with it. Like in that situation, like let's say we have to replace it. I'm not gonna go through Facebook and replace your thing and then like have Trappy be like, well, why the do you replace this?
Right.
And not have some sort of like, well, here's
Trail.
the whole ticket of me troubleshooting it and
Hmm.
solving why it's not working and cool. That's a replacement. I don't want to get audited and be like, dude, this kid's replacing every, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I want some sort of trail. So that
That.
it's really important to do the ticket. And like, I do have every now and then some like personal time, and it sucks when I have that time and I'm getting bling 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 bling
Yeah.
bling bling. So, you know, there's a time that I do support, and it's most of the time. Like you're probably not. I can tell you right now, there's not like a ticket that I have that's over like it's been 24 hours since I've responded it or less. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Hmm.
It's it's not going to be like I don't respond to you for a couple days or something. You know what I mean? Unless we're waiting on a
Right.
manufacturer to respond to something, and it's literally not me not answering you. It's I'm waiting for someone else's opinion on it.
Hmm.
Uh, that's the type like you're gonna get a response, but the Facebook stuff kind of gets out of hand sometimes. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
cool with it, but sometimes it gets a little bit out of hand.
Um. So with the Fusion, like, so for instance, let's take me.
Yeah,
So I'm still flying relatively old equipment. Like I said, I've still got the MQC. Say again.
I fly old stuff, man.
Yeah.
Like I fly stuff till it stops working because I still buy it. Like I don't. I'm not. people think I'm sponsored. I'm not sponsored. I work for these companies. I still
Right.
buy. I might get a discount on it, but I'm not. I'm not the best pilot in the world. There's no reason I deserve like a free set of motors. Like, you
Right.
know what I mean? Like, I might get some sort of like employee discount, but that's about it. So I
Mm-hmm.
fly my stuff ever. Like, this is a 3-year-old frame with like a
Yep.
2-year-old stack and a Unify V3 that I've had forever. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Like, I just keep flying it till it stops working, and I have the ability to fix a lot of weird stuff. So
Are those
sometimes
the
it flies
original steel
beyond that.
motors?
Yeah, these are the silks, I think, or
The silks, yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I just busted up. I just busted up my last. I've got 3 of them now. I need to, and I had a conversation with Steel. I need to go ahead and just order one of the new ones to replace it.
Yeah, the only reason I haven't gone to the new ones is I'm flying 4S, and those are
Yeah,
like perfect for 4S.
yeah.
I don't. That batteries are expensive. Like I
Heck
know people
yeah.
think like, oh, those people get free battery. No, dude, like the racers get free batteries, and I don't think they get that many. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
I still buy. I'm paying retail for my batteries most of the time. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah. Um, so if I'm not fully bought into the TBS ecosystem, let's say, because I'm still flying a Tyrannus radio with a Tyrannus protocol and whatnot, is the Fusion still worth it for me?
I, I mean, you have a LaForge, so probably it's
Okay.
worth the interlace. It's worth the interlacing. If you're not like, I mean, I would say yes, regardless, just because the fact that I know how adamant we are about working on our firmware, and
Mm-hmm.
the hardware is amazing. You know what I mean? The hardware is great. So if you already have the foundation for it, and there's constantly revisions coming to like make it better through the firmware,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna end up, you know what I mean? Even now, if it being on par, if not slightly better than Rapid Fire, it's just going to get better.
Mm-hmm.
Versus like, and I don't want to talk about our competitors, but like most goggle modules don't update that often. You
No,
get
they don't.
like it's, you know what I mean?
The
It's something that
LaForge, the
is
I mean, the LaForge would update every 6 months.
6 months. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't own a
and
Rapid
even then,
Fire. So I don't know
even
how
then,
often that
yeah, I don't know
updates.
how often the rapid fire updates, but
Or like Trudy, I think that's like once a year or so maybe, and it's really
mm-hmm.
not doing much. That's the constant work on the software side. I think really helps because that's where the magic happens. That's that unicorn magic is that software
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
side.
All right. Well,
And
you've convinced me. I want to go spend money now. So
I mean, there were early adopters to Crossfire, and when they were buying into Crossfire, they were just getting a long range module that it wasn't super fast or anything, but the hardware was there. And look how far it's come now.
yeah.
Like there, you can do. There's all sorts of crazy stuff you can do in there,
Well,
and
if
you
you
could they
over
even help with
if
like DSMX now and stuff. And
yeah, if you overbuild the hardware and then let the software catch up, that's good
yeah, I
because
mean, like
you
I
can always change software, but you can't change hardware once it's out.
yeah, I mean, well, that's you'd think so, but this thing you can change the hardware out on it. It just slides right out.
Oh my gosh,
So it's like, yeah, like you can, like
sick.
Trappy was saying something about like if we do upgrade the hardware because like it would flip, you can just pull it out and it'd be like a $20 upgrade that you just, and then you don't even have to change the module. It just changes the hardware out. So I mean, it's something that's future proofed versus buying
Damn.
like a static item.
Yeah, that's a compelling reason to buy it. I will.
I mean, I'll say it 1,000 times. I stand on the backs of giants. Like
Mhm.
the people doing this stuff are the important ones. It's Remo, Chris, Raphael,
Mhm.
and then the engineers that help them. But they do some crazy stuff, and I'm just like, as much as I answer your questions, like everybody's questions, I'm a consumer as much as
Mhm.
everybody. You know what I mean? I'm flying the stuff. I'm using the stuff.
Mhm.
You know, and still buying it. Like I'm not getting it for
Yeah,
free.
that's awesome, dude.
And that does it for Mike Chen and also Aaron Paul. I just want to thank both of them for coming on the show. It was a lot of fun. Really, honestly, the segment where I interviewed both of them together was probably one of the most fun interview segments I've ever had. I'd like to thank both of them for coming on. I'd like to thank both of them for being such good sports. Erin didn't really know that she was going to be in the interview before she came on, which was all the funnier. I really appreciate what Mike does, and I appreciate just the great vibe that the two of them have together. With that being said, I want to thank my patrons. They're awesome. You guys have been great. Thank you for your time. Link in the description below if you'd like to become a patron. And you can also find links to Mike and Aaron below, but they didn't really have a lot of social media that they wanted to pimp. So it was a little bit different this time. I think they're not looking for the fame. They just want to have fun. At any rate, I'm Mike, and I will talk to you later. Bye.